Have you ever tried to set a cookie in a service worker, only to find it just doesn't work? It's frustrating, right? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into how to set cookies on a response in a service worker. I completely understand how annoying it can be when you think you've done everything right, but the cookie just won't show up. You're not alone in this struggle. Many developers face similar issues when working with service workers. Here's the specific situation we're looking at. One user recently asked, is it possible to add a cookie to a response in the service worker? They tried setting a cookie in their fetch handler, but it didn't appear in the network panel or the application viewer. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So, what could be going wrong here? When you set a cookie in a service worker, there are specific rules and limitations that come into play. We'll break it down step by step to help you understand the issue better. And don't go anywhere. I've got a crucial tip at the end that will help you successfully set cookies in your service worker. To set cookies in a service worker response, the user needs to ensure that the response includes the correct headers. First, the user should modify the response to include the access control allow origin header. Next, the user should ensure that the cookie is being set with the appropriate attributes. This includes setting the same site attribute to none if the request is cross-origin. After adjusting the headers, the user should check if the service worker is registered correctly and is intercepting the fetch events as expected. This is crucial for the cookies to be set properly. Finally, the user should test the implementation by navigating to the page and checking the cookies in the browser's application tab. This will confirm if the cookie has been set successfully. Did you know? The concept of cookies was invented in 1994 by Lou Montulli, and they were originally designed to help websites remember user preferences. We've come a long way since then. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user points out that you cannot set cookies using the set cookie header in a service worker response. The fetch specification defines set cookie as a forbidden response header name, meaning it cannot be included in response headers. They mention that this restriction applies whether you're creating a new response object or modifying an existing one. However, there are plans to support cookie management in service workers using a different mechanism, which is detailed in a GitHub issue. Now, let's shift our focus to a different response. An alternative approach suggested by a user involves handling the request asynchronously. They recommend fetching the original request, then copying the response to modify its headers. Finally, they set the cookie using the set cookie header before returning the modified response. Here's the crucial tip I promised. Always test your service worker in an incognito window to avoid caching issues. This can save you a lot of headaches when debugging cookie problems. And there you have it. You should now have a better understanding of how to set cookies in a service worker. Remember, testing and adhering to the same origin policy are key. If you found this helpful, hit the subscribe button for more tips, and don't miss our next video on advanced service worker techniques.